Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2025 ARC Formula One Italian Grand Prix. It is the 11th round of the season. We are here at the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza in Monza, Italy. It is an incredibly clear day today in Italy here at this legendary circuit, and we are definitely excited to see these 17 drivers, a much bigger field than we had last week, attack this iconic circuit. Lots of high speeds here. And importantly, we have tons of new drivers, tons of storylines. We almost didn't have Maxime Van Averbeek here tonight. He's here, so we got 23 points between the leaders in the championship. We'll go over that stuff. Basically everything there is to go over, but right now we're just starting qualifying around this circuit. Couple fast facts about this track. This current configuration has been in use since 2000. No changes since then. Lots of record lap times set in that time span, but plenty of data to compare your laps to in that time span. It means every season of ARC has had the exact same configuration, and we can backtrack through the years to kind of see what the fastest cars were, especially as the top speeds have changed so much from our 2016 season approaching near 300 kilometers an hour, or sorry, near 300 miles an hour into turn one here. Very different to the 2017 cars, for example, 2018, 19, 20, where they became a little slower. And now we're getting back up to those top speeds. Got some drivers on fast laps here. Cameron Lopez making his return. He's been out for 2 weeks with a wheel issue. The data we have on that, it was a bum cable causing him issues, unable to race. Lopez crashed out of the 12 hours of Sebring in one of the off weeks in between F1 races. He returns now with a Thrustmaster T598 wheel setup. Let's see what kind of lap he can put down in his return. Cameron Lopez won earlier this year on a very similar track to this one, the high-speed new layout at Australia, that being the Albert Park circuit. He goes with a 119.182. That will probably not be the fast lap of the session. With that said, though, we definitely expect him to get up to speed through the next couple of weeks. Slipstream will play a big role here. We may see teammates working the slipstream with each other here. Ryan Messer now across the line, starting a lap, sorry. There are more cars crossing the line here, and we will also pull up the track map so that we can get an idea of who's crossing when. We've got a McLaren across the line. That is Oliver James, just 2/1000ths ahead of Cameron Lopez for P1 right now, tentatively, with 13 minutes left in this qualifying session. On the topic of that's a nice lap there by Milan van der Linden. He is also returning this week. He's in the Red Bull for the first time. That the FR Racing Red Bull, they'll surely be excited for the extra help. We should go through some of the team stories, actually, as we sit down and get ready for this event. We'll start from the top, I guess, with Vision 47. We already talked about Cameron Lopez returning. George Knight will be looking for his first podium in a couple of weeks. I believe he is currently going on 4 weeks without a podium. I would have to verify that very quickly. 4 weeks without a podium. We will ask that question. Yes, George Knight's last ARC podium was Great Britain with a P3. That was a race he could have won. Didn't end up actually making that happen due to some wing damage. Since then, the results have been 12th, 14th, and 4th. Hasn't seen the podium since then. Has dropped from points leader by 10 to 23 behind Maxime van Averbeek. Second in the team standings, obviously Van Averbeek's team. Things are as they are for nuclear fusion racing here in these bright green Saubers as we catch Van Averbeek crossing the line with an 18.5. That's 2/10 and a bit clear of Milan van der Linden. But yeah, business as usual for this team. Same drivers as always. Van Averbeek nearly didn't make it tonight. Last minute decision to make it, and won't cause any problems for them here. Ryan Messer now completing another lap here. Harvesting ERS at the end of the lap. That'll put him up to P6. And another car crossing the line here. I didn't catch if that was a car starting a lap or not. I believe that was a Williams. Worth talking about Williams. This is the first race back for Mikey de Jong since race 7 at Great Britain once more. He scored 8th in that race. He's only made 3 starts this season. The 2023 ARC Formula 1 champion. He is currently setting a lap. We'll watch him around the final corner here at Parabolica. And that's a 19.477 for Mikey de Jong. Really what Mikey needs is just a good, clean race here. Turn 1 can be chaotic here. We all know this. Definitely all know this from the many, many things that can happen. Turn 1 Monza, obviously. We all know the meme. But I think these drivers will play it cautious into turn 1. We do have some reserve drivers this week. Some new drivers as well. Reserve and new at the same time, basically. Number 1 being Aaron Clark, who's currently sitting in P17 in the Alpine on an outlap. He's about to start his flying lap here as the map changes from red to black, and he is all good to attack here. He is heading down into turn 1 here. Turn 1 into the iconic chicane, now through Curva Grande, tight against the apex there. As he tries to get the braking right for the Variante della Roggia. You gotta really watch the gravel on the exit of that corner. Now into the Curva di Lesmo 1. Just exiting with the left side tires on the curve. You want to clip the second Lesmo as well there with the right side tires, but not enough to unsettle the car. The DRS open down the backstretch and under the oval circuit. Now into Variante Ascari. That curb at the very end of Ascari, you can take a lot of curb at the exit there. Sometimes drivers will blip the throttle to not get unsettled, throwing it into Curva Parabolica now, and wants to stay tight on the right side here. That is a 1:18.577 for newcomer Aaron Clark. That is going to be a good lap from him. Other drivers we're going to be looking out for here. This could be a really big fight tonight, to be honest. There are drivers of incredible skill level here tonight. When past champion Cameron Lopez is really best case scenario looking at P6, really. I mean, there are drivers of immense skill level here. It's, it's a very, very fast field here. George Knight putting it on pole right now with an 18.404, warming the tires, it seems, as he's on an outlap. we're sure that we'll see some teammates helping with DRS as well, as we have a yellow flag and a Ascari cars bunching up. Finn Baker DNFing with the worst time on the board. He'll have a long race ahead of him. But yeah, at the top of the table, George Knight 18.4, Maxime Van Averbeek 18.542, Aaron Clark with an 18.574, and Milan van der Linden with an 18.740. Now those four are quick. We can also expect to see P18 driver Oliver Knott up there should he set a lap in this one. As George Knight starts his next lap. The chicane, you can really attack turn one, the Variante Retifilio. Not really as tight into Curva Grande's curbing there as I would have expected, and now into Variante della Roggia again. A lot of curb you can take there. He was a little further to the left than we saw from Aaron Clark there in that second chicane, but taking a little more exit curb as well through the first part of the Lesmo corner. Second one, really just chucking it in. That steering wheel, you can just see the way he's steering it in. It is very much one very quick flick into the corner. No, that was about as close as you can get there. I was just gonna hold my breath there and say the lap was invalidated, but that's about as close as you can get to a lap without it actually being invalidated. I think that he's most likely up on his time here. We'll pull up that lap data. Not a lot we're gonna get from it, but yeah, not quite up on his time as it turns out. I was gonna say I think he's most likely up on his time there, but I didn't think that turn one was all that amazing. So he clearly kept pushing that entire lap. So it must not have been down by too much. Milan van der Linden, or sorry, Maxime Van Averbeek also headed into the pits once more. He didn't manage to go up on his lap. Aaron Clark in the pit, he had just finished his lap, so nothing crazy there. Jamie, I mean, everybody right now heading into the pit pretty much. We've got Mikey De Jong on, it seems like a quick lap here. He'll try and improve from P10. He's on the outside now of Parabolica. He's headed into the pit. He can't make anything happen here. Ryan Messer now through Ascari. I was just taking a look there into the corner entry. It seems he's in AI mode. I watched his steering wheel flick. I do believe he's in AI mode right now. So, and the lap is invalidated. So I would imagine that that is not going to be an improvement if the game actually functions the way it's meant to. We got Sean Reese here riding on board with him now. He's P16. He'll be wanting to improve.
I see.
I see Matthew Stotts has joined the party.
Apologies. Power's out.
That's okay. We always appreciate having the co-commentator here to bounce off of. We'll get you in the lobby here after we finish riding along. Well, not even riding along, but watching Sean Reese here, see where he can improve to. We had Abdul Rahman Al Hazmi headed into the pit. Sean Reese, purple in sector 2. Now that'll obviously be his purple sector, but very nice for him to improve on his lap. That'll surely be at least P15, given the close margins. Should he be able to keep his lap together into Parabolica here, looking clean, nice and tidy. Going to be swinging back to the right now, and into the pits. He's down. These drivers really struggling in Parabolica this go around as I send my good buddy Matthew Stotts an invite.
Feels a little tight there with the top 6?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I was touching on earlier. The top 6, not even top 6, but like timing wise, top 6 sure. Right now, really top 9 are quite close actually. I'd say top 5 and then top 9 are two little gaps here, but the thing that I'm gonna say is we have 6 to 8 drivers here who could realistically win this race. You got
Mm-hmm.
George Knight for Vision 47, Maxime Van Averbeek for Nuclear Fusion Racing, Aaron Clark for Orker F1 reserving this week, Milan van der Linden for FR Racing in the Red Bull. From there, you also have Oliver Knott reserving in the McLaren this week for East Coast Racing. And finally, you have Cameron Lopez,
Good to have him
P9
back.
for Vision 47. And that's not even to mention the fact that, at a track with DRS the way it is here, you could have, the likes of Jamie Cavallini, Xander Wiles, Oliver James, Mikey DeJong. All of these guys could well be in the fight here this week. And I think that could really create a fun scenario at the end of this thing.
I feel like it'll come down to being a bit aggressive, don't you think? Especially for some of the guys that can't usually hang around. Got to be aggressive here, to be able to stick with these guys and hopefully put yourself in a position to have not just a great points score, but possibly fighting for a podium.
Well, they'll have no choice but to be aggressive this go around, especially because this is the opportunity track more than any other circuit we go to. As we see the Mercedes here setting up, we have George Knight. He's looking to get a nice tow here from Cameron Lopez down the main straight, it seems like. We also have two, I believe those are the Williams of, yes, the Williams of Mikey DeJong and Abdul Rahman Al Hazmi seem to be, okay, they're splitting up now. This is the track for this. It's something you got to keep an eye on. The Saubers, meanwhile, aren't working together as we have Maxime Van Averbeek headed down into turn 1. Very good exit. Just about as far to the right as you can get to the curb. He stays tight now going through Curva Grande, keeping it as close to that curb as he can. There's some bumps there on the inside you can try to avoid to scrub a little bit of extra time off. You got to watch these sausage curbs here on the inside of that corner as well. Those will launch you up if you hit the plank. And he's off the track. That is going to not be a very fast lap from the Belgian driver. This may well put George Knight in the as what do we have here?
He's still positive. Oh, it's gonna be close. He was, I mean, not much up, but he's gonna have a chance at least to improve his time.
I'm not sure what I've just witnessed with George Knight, and I'm sure everybody else watching is going to be wondering the same thing, but
just a little slower. What happened?
He was bump drafting Cameron Lopez. He's well down on this lap. We're going to be watching Aaron Clark here through the Lesmo. He's just chucking it in. He may well be the last shot at pole. Oh, Oliver Knott is on the track as well. I didn't realize he'd left the pit. He heads through Parabolica now. He'll be sweeping around this last corner. This is his first attempt at a lap, and we'll see where this puts him. Where does it put him? Aaron Clark, he retires. Only good enough for P3. Oliver Knott to pole by 0.4 of a second. On his first attempt, we picked him up late, but oh my goodness.
One and done.
One and done indeed. And we got Oliver James now. The double Oliver team. James is not going to match Knott for the that front row, but wow, what a lap from Oliver Knott here. Incredible stuff from the reserve driver here who shows up week after week and surprises us. Some notable results in this one. Pro Ultra, that is Arvin Whitaker, P9. This is a very good result for him, given how some of his season's gone here. Jamie Cavallini, P6, in a field this strong. That's nothing to scoff at. And Aaron Clark reserving P4. Some of the negative stories. Cameron Lopez way down in 10th on his return. Mikey DeJong, 2 past champions, 10th and 11th.
Mikey's teammate as well. I think he was pretty far down the order, wasn't he? I know I think
Yeah, he
it's been
was
some time
actually. I
he's
believe it was
raced.
15th. Now these two, they were quick in past seasons, and I have no doubt they are still, like, you don't lose talent that much over time, but the field's gotten quicker, and
It's got like a new wave coming in, you know.
a little bit, and we may just be getting to the end of that run of dominance. Obviously, Mikey De Jong, the most winning driver in ARC Formula One history. I believe he has 26 career wins, perhaps. I believe that's right.
It's kind of like the same scenario when you were extremely good, you know, in F1 for ARC in the earlier years, if I'm correct, right? I believe I've tried to look back on some of these. You were really good, you know what I'm saying? And then you know there was some fresh faces come in, you know. Cameron Dowds was a good example. I mean, there's you know it's just that time, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you do eventually age out, I guess, of the kind of a wave of sim racings. It's a little different, really, than I mean, you don't really age out if you have the time to practice and stuff, but you do age out in the sense that as you get older and have more responsibility,
Just ain't got the
you
time.
you don't have the time to really practice and dial in those lap times as much for, you know, your average adult person. So
Yeah, some of these kids, these are just teenagers we're looking at too. So yeah, I mean, we got a
yeah,
few teams.
I
We
would
got
say
quite a few.
yeah, the career trajectory of an esports driver is quite a bit younger than an actual F1 driver for sure. And I mean, even that skews quite young nowadays. But um, you know, a lot of these esports drivers in ARC, and we've seen them time and time again. You'll see their major pace spike happen really between 16 to 20, and then you drop off after that. And just grateful for the people who choose to spend, you know, 4 years or whatever with us, and even those people who spend that time with us and continue to race with us, like Mikey De Jong. And I mean, he's a very calculated driver. I have no doubt if he starts showing up more consistently. This is only his fourth start this season. He starts showing up more consistently. It's you know, he'll be back bang on the pace. It's not like we're talking about a guy who's just washed or anything. He's just not really put the time into this game as other games he's done in the past.
I'm expecting a send here. You know, maybe from the second row,
Yeah, I
maybe even
mean,
third row.
this is Monza. This is the scary chicane. This is the one all the sim racers fear. You got Oliver Knott pulling into grid position, angling himself. Not anymore. He's disqualified from
You
his
know,
grid position.
I keep an eye on Xander Wiles for this. I know I've heard and I've seen his aggressiveness. I really think that he's in the right lane and everything. I think he could be one to pull something crazy off. I don't know if it's gonna work, but
Oh,
he's
we
been
take a
known
look
for it.
from his T cam. He has this ahead of him. That's 7 cars. He could send one down the inside. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and now the lights are off. The wheels are spinning, the engines are revving, and we are headed down into turn one. Oliver not well clear of George Knight, but George Knight peeks down on the inside. Now Maxime Van Averbeek back to the outside. We have a Ferrari in the grass in the back. That's Aiden McCarthy. Will he manage to get it stopped in time? He does. We have a Mercedes spun. There's wing damage. George Knight, the nightmare start once again.
Oh,
He's down to 16th. He's got damage. Sorry, he does not have damage. The car, though, all the way down to 18th place already. Another nightmare scenario for George Knight for like the 4th week in a row. How
oh!
does this keep happening to him? Xander
I had
Wiles
a feeling
now
grass.
headed down into the back. He was up to about 6th, I believe, now down to 9th. Aaron Clark all the way back up.
Oh, the top
Oh,
two!
2 cars
Or
off the
not top
trail.
two.
Oh my goodness, Maxime Van Averbeek, the nightmare as well. The 2 championship contenders. We have a car spun. That's an Aston Martin. He's missing half of a wing. What is going on here in this race? Oliver Knott, of those fast drivers we mentioned, really the last one standing, and with a 1.8 second lead, he's all alone, and all he has to do is hold on and hope for no safety cars at this point. Oh my goodness, what a first lap.
It was Aaron Carter and Maximum here. It was off the first right-hander. Um, I don't know if there was contact on exit, but they just both went through the grass and and the gravel, excuse me, and carried into the wall.
It seemed like whoever that outside car is, I believe it was Aaron Clark, maybe misjudged the entry and the cars, the force of one car turning into the left rear tire of the other one turned it into the gravel, and that just carried them both off the circuit. I think that is exactly what happened in that scenario. We have the Aston Martin of Lewis Houchen into the pit to repair that damage we mentioned earlier. Now Aiden McCarthy working on Maxime Van Averbeek, but I don't... Oh, we have a Haas down the inside of Aiden McCarthy. He's in the gravel in the back. That's Sean Reese. He's made a mistake. He's all the way down to 17th now. And at the front, the DRS is not an issue for Oliver Knott, who is well on his way. 2 East Coast Racing McLarens.
Oh!
And we have a VSC. That is Aiden McCarthy. He's spun it into the Tech Pro barrier on the outside of Lesmo 2. Or, sorry, inside of Lesmo 2.
Wait, I mean, is it crazy? I'm crazy. Listen, I'm crazy.
I don't think it is crazy. I'm thinking the same thing. This is a moment where if you've got, you know, a lack of faith in your strategy, you could pit for a hard here, and I think you could make it to the end. This is not a high deg circuit at all.
No, yeah, I was gonna say it's very, yeah, it's, I feel like you could easily pull this off here, but it looks like no one's really looking to take that chance.
No one.
Maybe
except
Matt.
for Aiden McCarthy
should have done that.
Aiden McCarthy repairing damage here. This could work for him. All it would take is another safety car for him. Well, it would take more than that. It'd probably take 2 safety cars. He's on a hard tire. He might be going to the end. Now, mind you, worth noting, Aiden McCarthy's been struggling with tire wear all season. This might not be representative. Might not be representative of the bulk of the field here. George Knight already back up to 11th, having dropped 9 spots. It doesn't really mention the amount he's gained here, does it?
Oh, got a couple with the drive-through. I think I saw 2. 2 got hit with the drive-through?
I believe Aaron Clark, one of the drivers with the drive-through. Do we have a race director?
No, maybe it's just Aaron. I thought I saw 2.
Just Aaron Clark, yeah. The other thing was, the other one was a... Man, we have a lot of collision warnings here, but back underway here. We have Arvin Whitaker up to P2. Started P9, leading the DRS. I mean, he'll be a sitting duck here in a moment, but very good story already for him. Oliver James now, he'll open the DRS back up here. Yeah, DRS flap open, down the inside. This is going to be an easy move for Oliver James. And he's, oh my goodness, Milan van der Linden.
Oh, we got one getting pushed wide.
Yeah, I believe that was Cameron Lopez. He got shoved fairly wide on the corner exit of turn 1. We have an Alpine in the pit. That's Aaron Clark. He's doing his drive-through penalty. Not been the debut for him that he would have wanted. It's an East Coast Racing McLaren 1-2. The tenured ARC team will be looking at this very happily at the moment. The team owner right now on vacation, probably not watching this thing go down, but he'll be very happy when he sees the result sheet, that being Adam Pelk. Raced with us for a very long time. Mikey DeJong, 3 wide, falling down the field. He was wide on the exit of Lesmo 2. Now defending, we have 2 Saubers attacking him hard too.
Oh my goodness! Oh, that was a half spin. Oh, his teammate.
Nope, that's Mikey DeJong again.
Oh no, that was Mikey. Oh wow. Awesome. I'm shocked that didn't end up in the wall.
Yeah, good recovery, to be honest, as we see Oliver Knott now already going back up the timing sheet here. Milan van der Linden now fastest lap. I've been watching him this past lap. I mean, these laps aren't amazing, but they are representative of what people can do in traffic. And van der Linden passed multiple cars that lap and still set a 21.5, which is still the fastest lap anyone's set, even Oliver Knott in clean air. So that tells you exactly how powerful this DRS is when you're battling and you can manage to pick up X amount of miles per hour. We have the 2 Saubers now doing battle. Maxime Van Averbeek stuck behind Ryan Mezer right now.
I would have let him by. I know they've got no way of communicating, but man, I would have let him by.
Yeah, that gap now 1.7, but I don't think this is going to play out to be that big of a deal, to be completely honest. As yeah, Ryan Messer, he knows the deal. He lets him by. Now George Knight. I mean, this could. You gotta say, you'd expect that second pack to really make its way up to the first one, no questions asked, considering who's going to be at the front of this thing here. Maxime Van Everbeck, and then George Knight will probably slide into second here soon enough. I mean, I cannot see a world where they don't catch this front group, as we have a caution in sector 2. That's Aiden McCarthy.
Nice
Again, he
struggle.
recovers as hard tires, probably not feeling the best for him and probably won't make it that far. Oliver Knott, he seems like he's having some really aggressive steering movements here. Really
Oh,
everybody through
spin.
turn one.
Lopes half spun. Lost all that time and actually fell back to that second pack.
Just ahead of his teammate, George Knight, as well. Oh, and George Knight gives the position back to Ryan Messer. I think there was some sort of contact there. I was wondering how that gap opened up between these two. Oh my goodness, what a little power slide there from George Knight. Oh my gosh, he's got to keep his head on straight here because he cannot afford a bad result. And we have another retirement. That's Aiden McCarthy in the pit. He is not come to terms with this car in this event. The Australian already out of this race. So we have a 4.5 second gap.
Oh, contact between.
Yeah, we are watching this. This is a crazy battle through Parabolica. I do not understand how George Knight was able to keep that on the track after that side-to-side contact. Aiden McCarthy's car now out of the pit. Drivers
That's
will
so
not.
scary.
Oh, and there's wing damage. Wing damage off the Red Bull. That's Milan van der Linden. He's spun sideways. He's headed back onto the track from the reverse. Now heading across the circuit through the styrofoam boards, and he'll pick up a time penalty for corner cutting. He is angry. He's been spun around. I believe that was battling with Xander Wiles or Maxime Van Averbeck. I did not catch who, but it was in that general area. And it was caught on the general, who he was battling with was caught on replay. So anybody watching that can cycle back to that and see what's kind of gone on there. We didn't catch that live, so we have no idea.
Oh, it was Xander. He was battling with Xander.
So we've got to check Xander Wiles' car for any damage. Maxime Van Averbeck already back up to that pack and closing quickly at that. Look at this gap here.
Looks like Xander's little spikes. I don't know if I'm the only one seeing this.
Yeah, just forward back spikes, forward back. I'm seeing the legged.
I think Maxim was kind of reacting to that a little bit, to be honest. But wow, he's kind of shifting his way back up here.
Oh, and now wing damage for Maxime Van Averbeck. He's missing some wing. He ran into the back of the Red Bull, I believe.
That's that his entire thing's off. His entire end plate over there on the left's off.
Yep. I noticed that. I was going to say, I wonder if he lost one of the wing. Oh my goodness! What
the?
Are you kidding me? What is that?
Oh my goodness. What?
How does
was
this...
that for?
Unbelievable.
That's twice, man. That's twice.
Yeah, twice this season we've had some stupid thing like this happen. I cannot believe it, to be honest.
We also got Mikey DeZong. He's wrecked out. Oh, it's a red flag!
And we have a red flag in this event.
It sucks when you give people chances.
Yeah.
And they do stuff like this.
Yeah, I have not much to say about that.
This is huge though for Maxium. He's gonna get his wing fixed, and he's gonna still retain what was it, third, fourth?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, Oliver James isn't in the race because of that. Oh, wait, he got fully wrecked out.
Yes, he sure did.
Oh man,
He
I
sure
mean,
did.
it would only be right. No, he's still in the race.
Yeah, no, the car's still in the race.
He's fine. It's just unfortunate he was put all the way back in that position. Oh, we got a spin.
Yeah,
Xander
this
Wiles is spun.
spin for Xander Wiles. He's back to the back of the pack. There was some argumentation happening between the drivers about a potential restart for that due to Oliver James getting wrecked out there. But the argument to be made here would be the fact that he,
Oh no!
oh, Maxime Van Averbeek out of this now. What is going on in this race?
Oh,
Maxime Van
we got
Averbeek
the
now.
other one wide. What
Maxime
a
Van
save by
Averbeek
that
now
Haas.
dropping through here.
They're all ghosted, or a lot of them still are.
George Knight now picking up a time penalty. He needs to take advantage of Maxime Van Averbeek not being here for this. And now I have to obviously.
We got an issue. These cars are still ghosted, and they're not inside each other.
Those are cars that aren't currently having drivers, Stutz.
Oh,
Those are
oh really?
people who
Wait, that's
left.
how many? Oh my goodness. Oh, we lost someone. No, wait, George Knight. Oh, he. Oh, we got a lot of people retiring. Huh.
I'm not quite
What?
sure what's going on here.
Let's take a look at chat, see if anything's going on. George Knight's had enough. Oliver Knott picked up a 3-second. That's very crucial.
Arvin Whitaker now leading this thing just ahead of Oliver Knott, who has picked up that 3-second. These two banging wheels down the straight. Not sure what happened here. These drivers definitely need to cool down in this race. This is I'm seeing a lot of unacceptable driving in this one. Maxime Van Averbeek, he's back in the session, I believe. He's down to 9th, though.
Well, top two have pulled away, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. I can't remember his name, but this Pro Ultra, he's in a really good spot. I mean, really good spot. Just if you could stay within DRS range here. I mean, Oliver Knott has a 3-second. It's just stay right with him. Just stay with him. Really, that's all you gotta do. And I mean, he's gonna get a win. I mean, it's gonna be probably overlooked, but
Hey, man, the easiest way to put yourself in contention is to not make mistakes and stay as tight as you can, so.
another one.
Sorry, who just left? I didn't catch that.
I didn't catch it either. I can probably check with the ghost. Oliver James. I don't see anyone else who's left. Maybe it was one of the retired cars that left.
I believe that was what happened. We have a yellow in sector 1. There
Oh,
is
that's Haas.
Sean Reese has spun around in the back. Not a great race for him. He's struggling here.
Hey, big shout out to the boy Ryan in third, I believe that's his name, right? Ryan?
Yeah,
Ryan Messer?
Ryan
Hey,
Messer.
big
He
ups.
is. I'm very impressed with him. Every time
I
there's
think
been
he's on all
some.
the hards.
Every time there's been some dramatic things going on in this series, whether it be Monaco or here in Monza, he's right there. He's picking it up. He keeps it together. I mean, we watch him week in, week out, just keeping the car under him. He gets a little quicker week in, week out as well.
Oh, lock up in the rear.
What I don't understand, and I'm going to be completely honest and say this on stream, it's been harder for me to focus while reading the chat from drivers who genuinely were not affected by, like, in any way that the car took any damage or anything like that, just calling it quits because they feel as if the race should have been a restart because the driver who got intentionally crashed into left the lobby. Now, this driver's car, Oliver James, we saw it here, was still in this race. He had every opportunity to continue going. I completely, vehemently disagree with the fact that he got run into. But in no world would that be a restart. You punish the driver that committed the act, and
Right.
you move on.
We didn't do a restart for anything in the past.
There's nothing else you can do. The only parallel you can draw is the late race, like if something happens late race that causes the field to be shifted upside down like an intentional crash, and we've seen it before, then you can throw out the last couple laps to make sure the result is fair. You can't throw out the first 15 or first 10 laps of a race and then run a completely different race. That's not the point. And I don't understand the mentality behind a driver who wasn't the one who got hit, didn't take any damage from it, saw there was a red flag, and that actually benefited said driver, and still is upset that it should have been a restart when there's no parallel for that. I'm frustrated as the commentator watching this, like watching the drivers who left the lobby complain about it, because there are still 13 drivers here giving it their all, and 2 of them who chose not to, ultimately.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they can't expect decisions to be made right then and there anyways, you know?
Well, no, exactly. This is
you could make
just
the wrong
it.
call here, and that's not what we're here to do. We're
This
trying
is
to make
just it.
everything called
We
correctly.
we know when there's an intentional wreck.
Exactly, yeah.
We know the outcome of what happens there. That driver won't be in the league anymore. It's that simple. You're looking at season bans, league bans. It's that simple, genuinely. And as the person affected, it sucks. But you also have to use your head. Are we going to punish the driver who did the action, or are we going to punish the other 17 in the race who were minding their own business?
And we've had this. This has been the standard. We had this issue at Monza. Coincidentally, what was it 2 seasons ago?
2 seasons ago, with Cameron Lopez, we're riding along with here. This was late in the race. It was the final lap, and so we changed the result. It was the final corner. That's fair.
Belgium.
Spa.
I mean,
yeah, Spa earlier this season. That race went on.
They shouldn't. The drivers shouldn't expect us to automatically, let alone make a decision to restart. We get it. You get caught up, but you're not out of the race. You're not DNF'd.
No, these races are long, and ultimately there's a lot of chance for things to happen, especially in a race like this where you have a red flag. I'm happy to see drivers like like Arvin Whitaker right now, he's given it his absolute all, sitting in a podium spot right now. Cameron Lopez, he was down in the order. Maxime Van Averbeek, he lagged out of the session, rejoined. He's back. He's pushing his absolute ass off trying to get back up here to the front of this thing. He knows, clearly there is a driver in this championship fight who cares about the championship, and I'm just not seeing it from the other competitor who left this thing in what could only be called...
He'd still get points. He would still be getting points right now.
He would still be well in the points. He left this while he was well in the points. It robs the commentators of watching something amazing here. It robs the viewers of watching something amazing here. A good championship battle, and it robs all the other drivers, which is
it's like in every sport.
Exactly.
You spend so much time complaining, you forget about winning.
Exactly.
And that's what they've done here.
That is, I mean, at some point you're throwing it away on your own, and that's what happened here. Jamie Cavallini, he's on recovery here. He's spun out of Ascari. We didn't quite catch that, but he's got wing damage, big wing damage. He's missing the entire, not just end plate, but upper flap elements on the left side of his car. He'll be headed into the pit here. That is not good with 10 laps to go.
I don't see him doing nothing though. He could easily do it.
And we got 3 cars at the back of this thing, all running in an AI cluster.
This could be easy points for some of these guys. He was in the lobby. He was in the lobby just watching this. Yep. Oliver James was. It's pitiful. It's annoying, pitiful, disappointing.
Oliver James, I can see it for Oliver because he's the one who got hit.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I can't see it for the guys who weren't. This is the part that I'm not understanding. Like you can't be having your own race go negative. Like what's I'm short-circuiting in here. I don't know.
What nothing we can do, you know, it's...
No, we have 10 laps to go. We have 10 laps to go in a race where we have, Aaron Clark, a new driver, taking his first time at the point here in ARC Formula 1, reserving as the Alpine driver.
Other car caught up in that incident. Remember?
He was very early in this race. Incredible rebound. He was way down at the back at the end of lap 1. This race has had a lot of stuff happening as we have an Aston Martin in the pit. I believe that one is Lewis.
Yep.
I was just watching to make sure it wasn't a Jamie Cavallini retirement. I mean, that's the other thing. We've seen a lot of this season, drivers leaving well early into these races after they pick up some wing damage.
I can speak from experience, unfortunately, and I'm on the other end of it now, and I see why it can be quite annoying with people doing that. Especially
when you're sitting here watching it and you're like, oh my goodness, like why? Why are we doing this?
The fast guys too, the really fast ones.
Yeah, the fast guys who can bring the rest of us a show, and now Arvin Whitaker picks up 3 seconds. That is going to hurt his podium chances. We have a yellow flag, sector 2. That's the Haas again of Sean Rees. He drops, well, out of the points, but he'll be scored in the points as long as he finishes this thing and none of the others come back.
And Oliver Knott has, I believe it's a 6 second, not a 3 second. If I am correct here, it's a 9 second. He has 9 seconds of penalties. We could be looking at a 1-2 with the 2 that clash with each other on lap 1.
We may well be looking at that, absolutely. And that, I'm almost wondering, is there a connection here between Oliver Knott and Aaron Clark? Is Oliver Knott going to help pull Aaron Clark to an easy victory? Oliver Knott, I'm watching his wheel inputs this race, and he's not been comfortable with the car. I don't know.
His rear end's been shaking around too. Yeah, it's been very sketchy.
We'll just ride along with him here, and you guys can take a look at him. He's into the. I mean, this one was pretty fine. He just he doesn't seem to have that level of focus we've come to expect from him in the last 5 races he's been here. I mean, he's getting into the corners hard, and not. I mean, again, he's just. I don't know. This isn't the line. It's not as tight as it's been. Especially after he put up such an incredible qualifying performance too. You'd expect you'd expect him to be. I almost wonder if he's just leapfrogging now with Aaron Clark and trying to help him pull.
You remember he had gotten up to that lead because of all the shenanigans going on, and this is kind of like his first dose of having to deal with pressure. Do you think he's been thrown off? That he's been able to have someone like stay at his rear end, really?
Well, I mean, I did notice it could just be a comfort issue on the hard tires. Well, I was going to say I did notice after X amount of laps, he seemed like he was struggling a bit to maintain that gap. We even saw when Arvin Whitaker was the second car, that gap hovered around 3.5. I don't think Oliver Knott is the dominant car that we have seen in past weeks, fighting against Maxime Van Averbeek. And I think if Van Averbeek were to get up here, he'd probably pass him with not a lot of questions asked.
I think he has a chance. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, he's been gaining, and he's been doing this all while still passing cars. If he doesn't get disturbed from the Red Bull and Cameron Lopes, I think he has a chance to have an opportunity to reel in, at least get within DRS range of the top two. It also comes down to what Oliver Knott wants to do. Does he want to fight or does he want to ride?
Well, Oliver's gonna once again leapfrog here, but on these laps when Oliver's leading, it just seems as if he's losing time. He doesn't seem to have that level of speed that we've expected to see out of him. And I mean, you can never count out Maxime Van Averbeek. This guy is absolutely rapid.
Yeah, this brother is special. He is special. They don't even look good going over the curves, I can't lie. His car, oh my goodness, he's off track. Wow, yeah, he's struggling. He is struggling very bad.
Yeah, that gap now down to 2.9. Well, 3 flat pretty much. He now lets Aaron Clark. I'm still getting used to the name here. New guy, he's about to win his first race. Not even quite used to the names yet, and all he's got to do really at this point. I don't think, looking at the gap here, I don't think Maxime is gonna have enough.
Yeah.
But where this could unwind is, oh my goodness, Oliver Knott just struggling in Parabolica. I was gonna say where this could unwind for the Alpine driver is track limits.
Yeah.
I've noticed he's been getting really close in Ascari on multiple laps here. Now we watch, oh my goodness, just so planted Maxime Van Averbeek through that turn 1 chicane, just gained 2/10 just about every time through there. It's just, he's, without this DRS, I mean, I want you to understand, if this was level footing, even on a track where there's like 6 real corners, he's probably got about 4/10 in it to those guys ahead. He is just absolutely at one with the car right now, and you're not seeing that from the guys ahead. And even with this DRS, it's going to be what's going to have to play the difference here. Or, alternatively, a safety car or track limits.
Yeah, so Aaron has 1 warning at the moment. He has another one, but that was from an incident, so obviously that doesn't add on if I'm correct. So realistically, he has 1 warning, so he does need to keep his cards close, you know? Try and race, you know, just clean. Because, like you said, I don't think Maxime is going to get there.
Worth noting, sorry to interrupt, but Sean Reese is going to get that 10th place point. That is 1 point, despite sitting in 13th. There are 3 cars ahead of him: Caden McDonald, Finn Baker, and Oliver James, all of which are not in this race, just AI. So your P10
Oh yeah,
finisher
Oliver
will
struggled.
be Sean Reese. That gap now 2.7 seconds. It's just not coming down the way it needs to
Yeah.
though. Cameron Lopez falling off a cliff to Arvin Whitaker. And what's that time penalty for sure on Oliver Knott here, Matthew?
Oh, 9. It's a 9 second, so he's
It's
gonna
okay.
fall.
So he's not looking at a podium right now.
He's barely gonna get a top 5. Nah, not barely. He's certainly gonna keep a top 5, but
I'd be
yeah.
interested without the DRS cycling from from Oliver Knott and Aaron Clark. How quickly Maxime could actually catch Aaron Clark, like if it could happen. It's been a pretty crazy season so far, all in all. Some really horrible moments mixed in with some really bright spots too. Like, but the bright spots, I mean, we've had some incredible competition in terms of drivers here. We've got no driver has more than 3 wins, and this is about to be the end of the 11th race, and it's looking the same way.
Oh man, Oliver struggles.
You got
That's gotta be. He had to have picked up one right there, right?
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that he was well off circuit there. No time
He
penalty,
did.
but
He did
okay,
pick up a
that's a
second warning.
warning. He's gonna have to be careful now. This is this Alpine now, and that, I mean, you see that Sauber absolutely just dancing through the chicane. He's more comfortable than the Alpine driver, and I don't. It's never a comfortable situation to be in this close to the end of a race, and now you're thinking, okay, I have only one shot to go off.
I would just ride. I truthfully would just ride. I wouldn't even work. If you go wide, just let off and you know,
Well,
don't even
I
push it.
I think there is some sort of maybe DRS camaraderie here between Oliver and Oliver and Aaron Clark. And the only reason I even bring that up, and I'm not saying camaraderie as if it's a bad thing, because ultimately this is a bit of a what do you call it when what do you call it, Stutz, when there's two animals in an environment that help each other in a mutual relationship?
Uh,
There's your trivia
gosh.
question, like
Oh,
one of those sucker fishes on the side of a whale, for example, or a bird that cleans the teeth of an alligator. It has a word.
man. Oh, Maxim, he's gaining a little bit more now with the struggles of Oliver Knott, but gosh, it just isn't going to be enough at the moment.
Well, anyway, where I was going with that analogy before I forgot the word for it is that these guys do have a bit of a mutual benefit going on here in that as long as they're cycling DRS, they are keeping a gap to the rest of the field. And so that 9 seconds is less of an issue for the TES ECR driver, Oliver Knott. Now, they head to their last lap. They're starting the final lap of the race. And once more, gap down to 2.2. But it's not going to be enough. Maxime Van Everbeck just so fast to pull 2 seconds on the car behind as the lead car in DRS. Just incredible driving from him every week in, week out. It's undisputable at this point. There's a championship favorite. So
Oh well.
Oliver Knott another 3 seconds. That'll drop him down. I
Oh my
believe he'll
goodness,
be.
he's
I
just letting
was
it
gonna say I
wing.
believe he'll be P6 at the end of this thing.
Oh no, Ryan Messer has 13 seconds. I'm pretty sure he's gonna hold on to it.
Sorry, P5 I meant to say. He'll slot in ahead of Ryan Messer. And Oliver Knott will cross the line in P1, but it's not going to be the win. It'll be the win for Aaron Clark, his first career victory and his first career ARC start. That'll be Orker F1's first ever ARC Formula One victory as well, and that'll boost them up the constructors' standings. That's a podium P2 for Maxime Van Averbeck and Arvin Whitaker, first career ARC Formula One podium. Well deserved. He's had some good qualifying efforts this season. Oliver Knott will cycle into a P4 finish just ahead of Cameron Lopez, who recovers after his wheel issues. He'll be getting 10 points for his troubles. Xander Wiles, bit of a no-show in this race. He was here, but not really here. I don't remember seeing him all that often. P6, 8th place. Ryan Messer, he was up very high to the front, couldn't quite hold on. 6 points for him. Working our way down the order. Pumping the fist here for the Alpine driver of Aaron Clark. Driver of the day, Finn Baker. Not the Alpine driver I'd be giving it to, but I don't think we're going to be giving driver of the day to an AI driver. What a podium here. An unexpected one at that, eh?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so.
Yeah, before we came into this thing, if we had done our fast and our fast pick and our dark horse, these would not be the drivers I would have picked. But I'm very happy to see. I might have gone for dark horse Arvin Whitaker, honestly. I'm always tempted to pick somebody who's had bad results in past races as a dark horse at Monza because there's less corners, but I'm not going to retroactively apply that because it's not really fair.
My driver wouldn't have been here. He would have been out. He would have finished as an AI. My dark horse would have, at least.
Yeah, I know you were really pulling for Milan van der Linden in this race, but anyway, yeah, some pretty horrible driving all in all. The recap for this is going to look pretty gross, but yeah, no, great win for Aaron Clark. Fastest lap, 20.717. He did everything he needed to do. Good recovery for the Belgian.
He had a drive-through as well. That's crazy. He had a drive-through as well.
Drive-through at the start of this thing. Drive-through to victory. And that, ladies and gentlemen who are watching this race, is a prime example why you can't just leave the lobby when something doesn't go your way. Because, as we've proven here today, anything can happen in Formula One, and it usually does. Anyway, we will try and get some auto racing connected interviews going on in here.
I think we have a chance of only getting 2. We know Maxime doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't talk. Speak. Try and get Aaron Clark in here. See if I can grab him.
Who got 3rd again?
What's Aaron's name again? Oh my goodness. That was Arvin Whitaker.
You know, we could ask him about that, about the whole incident if we wanted to, because he was in the middle of that when that happened.
Yeah, he was absolutely right in the middle of it. We've got a clip of this happening. He was right behind Oliver James and saw the McLaren spearing out ahead of him. That is a disgusting. Saw
his teammate straight kill him. This brother's bringing an engineer?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. That's going to be a new one for us. I guess there's a whole lot of new things going on today. Well, I shouldn't say the racing's quite new. We've experienced that, unfortunately, a little bit.
Last week in Spa, we already had our 2 weeks
ago. That was last week?
Spa.
I was about to say.
Well, the Dutch GP didn't happen. We only had 9 drivers, so.
That's right. We had that in Austria. Didn't look well, at least, you know, from the back of the pack with some guys just not taking it serious, you know. It's sad we get big fields, get really big fields of fast drivers, and it just gets overshadowed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, you got to put with Oliver James feeling for him. I think he's been caught up in a lot. We talked about him finishing out races, and this is just the luck that he has. So, you know, there's just, yeah. Nonetheless, the racing was still fun towards the end. Even with Oliver having the 12-second of penalties, he made it as fun as he could.
Okay. Well, we're here. We're going to wait in the waiting room here for, firstly, we're going to do Pro Ultra. Dragging Arvin Whitaker into the ARC booth here for an interview. Would love to hear your thoughts on your first career podium in Auto Racing Connected. What did it take in this race?
Um, Honestly, I had no practice. I was on a quali setup for the race, and I just saw people kill each other lap one, and I was just avoiding and just driving, and that was all there is to it.
Honestly, the reason I asked that question is because I wanted to know how much of that you thought came down to luck versus skill, and I feel as if that kind of just makes the point that we of the race that we were trying to kind of talk about here. A lot of driving standards issues in this one, obviously. None from you. We seem to see a lot of you in this race. Seem to be really clean throughout it. I did want to ask you though. You were right in the middle of one of the more gross things we've seen in league racing, a straight up full throttle punt. Um, what
Yeah,
were
I
your
had to avoid that.
thoughts, I guess, on that happening, and how close did it come to taking you out of the race?
I mean, I was running a quali setup, so straight line speed was just really poor. I think I lost like 4 tenths a lap. So I was just trying to survive, honestly. And when I saw the guy just coming, I slightly turned right, and then he missed me. That was quite funny.
Yeah, it was definitely not a
It
incredible.
was not something that should happen, though.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely, and definitely, I guess. I mean, Stotts and I were talking about it throughout the back half of the race. Like, um, definitely changed the outlook of the race. We'll say that much, but changed it kind of positively for you. Get a podium out of it. I do want to hear your opinion on like in an event like that on like lap 10, what you think the procedure should be if something like that happens.
I mean, honestly, I was P2 when it happened, I think, or P3. Um, for me, it didn't matter because to me, it was mostly the same. They killed each other at the back though after the red flag, so it was quite easy to just do nothing and
Yeah,
stay in the top three. And Oliver Knott kept chucking on those 3 second pens, and I had a couple more that I could report. So I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and hope that nothing happens. So I stayed in Takubi's DRS, and then that was it. My straight line speed was very bad, so it was hard to keep up.
well, congrats on your P3. Stotts, do you have any questions or?
I'm just, just a little side question. AJ talked about, with the red flag and all this, with like it changed the outcome of some things. I want to know, for you, um, did you have to change your pants just by any chance when you would see when you just saw? I mean, in my mind, I mean, I would maybe a little came out, but I just for you, what was your? I mean, did anything?
Honestly, no. I just saw it coming. I do takeout lobbies a lot, so I'm quite used to this. So I just
Oh,
had to
boy.
dodge, and then yeah, it was honestly normal. I'm used to it.
So the
Oh,
rec
I
that's
do this
the
type of stuff for
unfortunate.
fun.
the training and Recfest and BeamNG
Exactly.
come into fruition in this one. Well, congrats on your P3.
Thank you.
What a question from Stotts here, and we'll
Had to,
move
had
on to
to.
P1.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
You as well.
You do as well, brother. Hey, it was a good question, man. You can't hate. It's a good question.
Yeah,
I
I
would,
mean
hey.
that was certainly something as we bring Aaron Clark in here, his first career race, his first career win as a reserve. How's it feel to be an ARC winner?
Uh, very nice, actually. Yeah, I had a very fun time racing here, and I definitely will come back.
Yeah, I'm sorry that your first race had to be one where we've had such a drama, but it certainly shook up the outcome of the race, if nothing else, for sure. Um, I did want to ask the end of that race. My really only, I guess. Well, I have two questions. Firstly, let's start with the start of the race. You had an incident with Maxime Van Averbeck. We kind of, my diagnosis at the moment was that um, with the angle, we couldn't really tell if Maxime went wide or if you turned in too shallow, but ultimately your front right wheel and his left rear made contact, and you guys both went across the gravel and into the wall. You, meanwhile, got a drive-through penalty and
Yeah.
ended up winning the race. So, where we'll start with this question is firstly, per your point of view, what happened in that incident?
So, um, basically, from the start, Techie B had spawned night, so I wanted to keep DRS with Oliver. So I was pushing, and I made the tiny mistake through turn 4 and turn 5, and that's where Techie B made the dive bomb. I'd switched back in, and we were alongside, and I must have forgot. Like he must have. The arrow was white, so I moved over to the racing line, but his front wing must have been there, and we tapped and collided. Um, he didn't really come out that bad. I lost some wings, so I had some wing damage, and then obviously I spared him with a dry. I got a drive through because I was just trying to keep up with the pack. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's 50-50, but I'll just have to review the clip.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, we don't see that too often. A first lap crash, then drive through, then red flag, then
Yeah.
victory. Um, if you're gonna get a win, it might as well be an eventful one. So, um, you've explained the drive through. You worked your way through the field. We kind of caught up with that. There's not a lot of questions to be asked there. My only other real question is at the end there, was there any pre-planned like DRS swapping with Oliver Knott in the McLaren, or was that just kind of a mutually beneficial relationship type situation where Knott was gaining the extra time by swapping with you to kind of help his penalty situation, do you think?
Um, I mean, I think if you go into any F1 league race, I think DRS swapping on this game is probably one of the main things that you'll see. Because especially at Monza, with the long straight. So I think it was beneficial more to me because it kept kind of, protected me from TechUB catching up, and then I guess it also benefited him. But mainly, I was just like, just doing my own race, and then if he wanted to pass, he could pass. I wasn't really going to put up much of a fight because of the pair of time penalties he had.
Yeah, we'll definitely take a look for sure at or sorry, I, sorry, I was reading something else while something popped up on my screen. I'm listening to this and I something else popped up on my screen. What I was gonna say is the DRS seemed like it really actually was helpful to you because in your rear view you had Maxime Van Averbeck. How much quicker do you actually
Yeah.
think he was without the DRS help? And do you think like how many laps do you think I guess it would have taken from like let's say just total from like let's say lap 20 had there not been a DRS difference? Because it looked like there was a fair amount of pace gap between you without the DRS.
Yeah, I mean, so at the start, I was when I was making my way up the field, I was putting in fastest laps, and I think that's where I mainly used most of my tire life. That I think that's when my tires were in their best condition, and then my tires just started to get wear and tear, and I had to start recovering and also push. So I think mainly it was tire management, and you could just tell by taking his pace, he was just pushing and pushing, and it was really impressive, especially since he couldn't swap with anyone. Um, but yeah, I think he was definitely the quicker driver. I just think it was unlucky that he didn't have anyone to DRS swap with, or if he started higher up, after the red flag, he could have been up there with me.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a crazy race, and the ending wasn't quite as intense as some of the other races we've had this season with some photo finishes and stuff. But obviously, we did have to really pay attention to if Van Averbeek was going to actually end up catching you. But you came away P1 victory, first ever ARC win. Congratulations for that, and I hope we will see you in the upcoming races as well.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, we've got
I don't know
Oliver
if
Knott
anyone
and
else.
got Oliver Knott and Xander Wiles both live in the waiting room. Not quite sure what's gone on there or why, but I think we're going to call it quits here. I've got a message from
I agree.
Xander Wiles. Can you unmute me?
He's muted. I
I
didn't know he was muted.
didn't recall muting him.
Oh,
So
he might have been muted from when he had some stuff go down, didn't he?
I don't remember. I have no idea.
Uh,
Anyway, this is it. That's the end of the Italian Grand Prix. One thing we can kind of say is didn't really affect the championship picture too much, as it just kind of extended the gap. Maxime Van Averbeek, 18 more points to his total. He has 133, I believe. Yeah, 133. That'll put him up to 151 points. George Knight didn't score any, so he's on 110. That's a 41 point difference. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty of the season. 7 races left, 41 points. It's Maxime Van Averbeek to lose at this point. He's just got to keep his head down, keep grinding away at this. He's got 3 wins, and in the races Van Averbeek has done, he's only missed 2, Australia and Monaco, and only has 1 DNF, a P20 at Great Britain after a lap 1 crash. Everything else, he's kind of been able to keep his head in it. So I think that's where this championship's going to be won compared to those now 4 DNFs for George Knight, who hasn't seen victory lane since Monaco this season.
yeah, it's not looking too good in that department.
Not looking
He's gonna
good.
have to catch a real big break.
And Cameron Lopez, obviously, the wheel issues were the big stopper to his championship charge. Started in Great Britain and only just now getting sorted in Monza. But yeah, that about rounds us up here. That's the end of this ARC Formula One race this Friday night, as we typically do them. Next Friday night, I believe, is an off week. We are going to check that very quickly for you guys.
Much needed, if so. Much needed.
Yes, it is indeed an off week for Easter weekend.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's an Easter weekend off week. Good Friday next week. Hopefully everybody enjoys their holiday.
They
maybe
need to find some eggs.
You know what they need to find? They need to find some great news articles on divebomb.com. They should check that out. Check out divebomb.com. You want to read some incredible news articles written by up-and-coming writers in the motorsports industry. You need to check that out. If you want to run a racing league just like us, hopefully with less intentional crashing and not that Milan guy, Milan van der Linden, don't invite him to your league. Definitely, if you want to do that, though, go to simleaguepro.com and you can put a league together really quickly and easily. Drag and drop functionality makes it easy to calculate your points positions, and you can basically do it on any game you want. It's a great site, and I highly recommend it from personal experience. Other than that, check out the Racing Rats. You play Assetto Corsa, incredible mods. You can join us on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern or 7 p.m. British time for GT3 racing and soon endurance racing in the hypercar class with the Racing Rats cars. And other than that, the only thing I got to go over here is the broadcast schedule for the upcoming week. We just had ARC Formula One. Tomorrow, we've got Assetto Corsa racing at Dubai. That'll be a fun night race. That's 2 p.m. Eastern or 7 p.m. British time on Assetto Corsa on our YouTube channel. You can find that. On Sunday, we have the Endurance Series visiting Interlagos. That is at 8 p.m. Eastern or 1 a.m. British time. And then on potentially Tuesday, we may have the ARC Daytona 250 on NASCAR Heat 5 for you. Things still coming together. And then on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we will have the ARC Late Model Tour on iRacing coming to you live from Southern National Motorsports Park. That's a 150 lapper in the super late model car. We hope to see you guys there as well. And then it'll cycle back to that Good Friday weekend. Once again, it's an off week. We will see you guys in 2 weeks for the ARC Formula One Portuguese Grand Prix for round 12 of the 2025A ARC Formula One World Championship.